On this episode of the Shady Mob podcast, the man and the king review
Yeah.
Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. Episode 11 of the Shady Mob podcast starts now, ladies and gentlemen.
You're watching the Shady Mob podcast with your two favorite pod mob stars.
All right, guys, please click on the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
You ready, my guy?
Let's do it.
So, the man and I went to go and watch Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. Although there were a lot of monkeys in this movie, the people behind the film weren't monkeying around. The film takes place 300 years after the death of Caesar in the ruins of Los Angeles. The apes have almost fully taken over the planet and have all but forgotten who Caesar was and the nature of mankind's destructive ways. The journey begins with a young ape named Noah, whose ape clan gets taken away by a group of ape raiders under the command of Caesar Proximus. At the beginning of the movie, Noah also notices a human woman following him. He doesn't realize at the time she can speak and hadn't succumbed to the virus that had turned most of the humans feral. As the story continues, Noah, the human woman named May, and an orangutan named Raka embark on a journey to free Noah's clan and stop Caesar Proximus from unlocking a vault filled with dangerous human technology that could destroy ape and humans alike. Alex the Man Angelov, your thoughts?
Well, I think that the opening was amazing. You get to see all this like jungle and forested cityscape while they're trying to find eagle eggs for their clan and everything. It's kind of like a rite of passage, that a lot of cultures have. And you get to see a lot of culture in this. It's very cool how they introduce all this new culture, tribal stuff into this movie from the apes' point of view. One thing I did notice throughout the entire movie is that it's very unbelievable. It's unbelievable how strong they are. I just see crazy parkour from these apes. This one part where he like sticks a dagger or a pillar of a rebar into concrete, and I'm supposed to believe that like he's supposed to jump through and make this. It's just insane. Maybe they have more cognitive abilities with the higher intelligence, but to me that's just crazy. And
Well,
also inconsistencies of the forests in Los Angeles. Like, come on, man! It's 300 years. LA is a desert. It's been a desert for the past 1,000 years. Only has it changed once because of the ice age when the planet started warming up. Then it turned into a desert. So I don't understand
so
that.
guys, if you're into sports, wrestling, or just need some positivity and motivation, check out N1 from the End Zone and click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. In my opinion, because I'm actually going to interrupt you right here. So I thought it was cool how apes had also found religion. That's fucking dope.
That's really cool
That was
too.
cool, right? Like I thought that was cool. Like they each clan, I guess, had their own religion. We even find out that they had a religion based on Caesar and the window, which I thought was awesome. But
Call
when it
back to
comes
the
to the
original.
whole reforestation, I understand that LA was a desert, but you also got to take into account all the different types of plants and all the different types of things that have been introduced to LA. So for it to be again taken over by like forestation in 300 years is very plausible, in my opinion.
I'm not gonna. We're here to debate.
In my
I'm
opinion,
not gonna. I'm not gonna science right
we're
now
gonna science a
because
little bit,
again, there's no water in LA. All the water is taken from the lakes up in the northern Sierras and everything like that. So it can't. There's no water to supply all these introduced plants.
but again, humans are no longer in like command. It's been 300 years and
Yeah, because they
technology.
turned all hoo ha ha
Yeah,
hoo ha.
exactly. They turned into monkeys, but that's what I'm saying. So like there's no more
Be
like
fine
let's say there's
water.
no more
Be fine
smog in
woman.
the air, right?
Be fine water woman and bang bang.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no more smog in the air, right? Water in the drought probably. I mean, the drought's
I
ending
actually
right
didn't even
now.
know it was LA until they showed the airport. I didn't even know it, which is really cool. I mean, I don't I it would have been interesting to see like other cities too, like Chicago or anything, because there it kind of makes sense with like the forest and everything. But I guess the cold might have killed them off because I
The
don't know how.
reason why I think so, like in the original Planet of the Apes series, it all basically took place in New York on the East Coast. Since they started the
Uh,
reboot, like it's all started off in like San Francisco. Everything's been on the West Coast, which I think is kind of cool. It's just like, again, it's not a reboot or it's not a continuation, but it's also not a reboot of the actual events.
See,
So it's very timey-wimey.
aside
It's
from
really
that,
cool.
visually stunning movie. I really enjoyed the visuals. I did not see any slip ups in CGI. Maybe the CG was kind of choppy with like when they're all together and fighting and like towards the end scenes were kind of iffy. But if anything, it's great. The story is very cliched, very slow. He's trying to find his tribe, and I do like the fact that Noah is trying to find his tribe, his love interest, his best friend, and all that. It's conflict. It really is. But what gets me really angry the most about this movie is that the fact that the antagonist was thrown in at the end. We don't really see his power or his demeanor or his ruthlessness until the end. And even then, he wasn't even that like bad of a person. He really just wanted to get into the vault and have a big kingdom for apes. Sure, he abducted the village,
Well, the
the
thing
East
about it
clan.
is if he got into the vault, he would have had the power to destroy ape and humans alike. And May, who we also later found out was going after the drive that was inside of the vault, she did not want him to get his hands on it. So when they destroyed it and when they flooded it, that was kind of beneficial for both humans and the apes. And everybody was essentially happy at the end, which I actually
Yeah,
enjoyed.
yeah.
I
So
thought
that
was
was
cool.
kind of a good relief. I didn't like how one of the characters sadly perishes, and that is the biggest thing. That is the worst thing that they did in this movie. I don't want to spoil it.
Well, hold on. We
But
heard his voice at the end of
heard
the
his
movie.
voice at the end, so I'm
He
just like,
might still be alive somewhere. He might have washed up like off the shore somewhere.
but it was cheap, and he should have gone through at the end because Noah at the end embraces, Caesar and his mentality of apes strong together and all that, and he understands what Caesar was about.
Yeah, but I think Rocka, we might see Rocka again in the future,
It was
unless they
Raka. All
do.
right, it was Raka.
Yeah, it
Spoiler
was Rocka.
alert.
But again, it might be like in the next film, or they might do another time jump. Because remember, I was wrong in this film where I thought May was one of the astronauts from the
That's right. We did
spacecraft
that. We
that
if
was lost in the first movie in Rise of Planet of the Apes.
Mars, right? When they went to
Yeah,
Mars. Yeah.
yeah. When they were going to Mars, they were doing something, but the spacecraft got lost in space. So if you watch Rise of Planet of the Apes, the first one with James Franco, there's a scene where you see the newspaper and it says the spacecraft was lost in space. Ladies and gentlemen, that spacecraft has landed.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
May ended up being a girl that had grown up in the apocalyptic society run by apes. She wasn't a feral human. She grew up with like humans that could actually speak. There's
They
still
have
human.
bunkers and stuff throughout the
Yeah.
world. It's really
They
interesting. I wish they dove more into that. I think we're going to see that later, but I like how they threw it in a sprinkle. That was also pretty good too.
I thought it was cool how was able to get the drive and then reestablish communication with other human civilizations across the planet. Or maybe it was just across the country, but the fact that they were able to communicate again, it's very interesting because the last movie was called War for the Planet of the Apes. This one's called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm just curious what the next movie is going to be called because I just think it'll be an even more apocalyptic war now that humans have reestablished communication and they still have technology against the apes who use human technology, who haven't developed the brain capacity to create their own technology. What they
Yep.
depend on is humans that can speak and know how to use the technology to be able to create and do stuff like that, which I thought was really cool. I really enjoyed the fact that they didn't make every single human being feral.
Yeah, that was a good choice. I enjoyed that with the fact that they introduced more developed, more normal humans at the end. To circle back again, like the movie, it is what it is. It really is just an intro to a new trilogy, which I like. I enjoyed the previous trilogy that we got from Andrew Serkis as Caesar and that like saga, the Caesar saga, and I hope we see more of Noah too. I think he was a really good character. He definitely he grew a lot throughout this film. But again, man, there's just a it's just chock full of cliches and just bad decisions. I still don't like the fact that Proxima Caesar was just he wasn't included in the beginning. If he was there when
Yes.
his kingdom invaded the clan, if he was there, that would have been way more intriguing plot for them to follow because now there's he's evil, he has to get back. Noah has to get back at him and his clan back too. And they made him look all powerful and everything in the trailer. And he was. I like the scenes.
He
He was
was. He
really
was the king
cool.
of all the apes. He sends all of his henchmen out to do his bidding for him while he's
He's powerful. No,
whipping
he's
all these
powerful.
apes to try to open up a vault that he can't open up.
But towards the end, the ending, by the way, is really interesting. I like how the fight scene was, but it was just lackluster. I'm just like, okay, well, that was it. Like, I wish we got more. I wish he stayed, or if anything, I hope he survived and we get more of that because that would be crazy. He's a really good villain, but he
One of
didn't
the
get.
one of the castings that I thought was spot on was William H. Macy as Trevathan. He plays also Frank Gallagher in Shameless, and the
Yeah,
character that he played was was a more refined, more sophisticated version of Frank Gallagher, just trying to survive and like fucking make it through this whole apocalyptic scenario with Caesar Proximus. I really liked the ending. The way that Noah was able to command the eagle and have the eagles basically fuck up Proximus. Because we saw at the beginning, it was like a rite of passage to be able to control an eagle. And his father, his father before he got tragically murdered by the gorilla raiders or the ape raiders or whatever, was the person that commanded the Eagles, was like the religious chief and priest of the clan. And by the end of the movie, after he's embarked on that journey, after he's established, the Eagles no longer hurt him. They're a part of him. They help him and they help him defeat Proximus Caesar. So I really enjoyed the movie. What was your rating on it?
so we talked about this prior to this video. It was a 5 out of 10, but now that you've made all these valiant points, it's now a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I'll give
See,
it slightly above average just because we talked about it and like it's been a while, but really it's slightly above average just because of what they did to a really good character, Raka. Okay.
we got
The
six.
antagonist wasn't that powerful. He was not as prominent as I wanted because there's two antagonists really. It was the gorilla and Proxima Caesar, which I
And he
thought
killed both of them,
he,
technically.
well, I wish that he helped the gorilla out and like them and him he changed sides. That would have been a callback to
Fuck that.
Rise with Caesar and that gorilla too. That would have been crazy. But
That
there's
could
that's
have been a callback, but in the original Planet of the Apes series, gorillas have always been brutes and idiots. And frankly, like I loved how he didn't help him, and he also didn't necessarily kill him. He just let him drown.
that
He had
was
it coming.
honestly that was a
Fuck
more
that monkey.
powerful scene than I
Fuck that
mean
gorilla.
the only thing that I can say about the eagle scene was just that it was interesting. Like I've never seen anything like that, and it was just great to see the eagle finally be a part of Noah. That was great. But his death was like, I mean, all right, like he didn't technically give the final blow. His father's spirit did, and that was powerful too. But I didn't really hit as hard. I don't know. I wish Proxima just was there more in the beginning.
Yeah,
Also,
I didn't like how we didn't really get to see him until the last like what 30, 45 minutes of the
that's what I'm
film.
saying. Also, it felt like a nature documentary, honestly. Like it really did. There was just a bunch of animals, but humans were now like feral animals, which I get. They established that with the previous film. And also them just like trying to find eggs and everything. It's like, ooh, the monkey or the ape searches for the eagle egg as it climbs the tree. And you get a whole bunch of and it's like, oh my God, what is he gonna do? And it's like
The thing I love the most is like all those like all those movements, they were actually done by humans wearing the
And
virtual
they
thing,
were good. They
which
were
I thought
they
was
were
really like kudos to the actors who portrayed the characters in this movie because they went all out acting like monkeys, bro, and they weren't monkeying around, man. I'm just telling you that much.
they were monkeying around,
They
dude.
were monkeying around. Personally, I give it a 3.5 to 4 stars. You do the out of 10, I do the star system. It was a great movie, great watch. I'd rewatch it again, but this is just coming from a biased Planet of the Apes fan. I full disclosure, I've watched all the originals. I'm currently watching like the 1974's Planet of the Apes series. I enjoy it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I still have the VHSs of the full original films. And I enjoyed this movie.
There's a
Again,
lot of
it's not the
skippable
best,
parts.
but I personally give it a 3.5 to 4 because of the fact that it's a different perspective. And I believe I something is telling me that at the very end of it all, we're eventually gonna find out what happens to the spaceship that was lost in space. That's what I'm hoping. By the end of it all, the final movie is essentially the beginning of everything again, which I think would be cool, in my personal opinion. I love the fact that humans weren't all gone and all feral and weren't also slaves. They were, yes, there were some that were feral that were being hunted by gorillas, but then there's still human civilization with technologies trying to take back the planet, which is
Yeah.
really cool. Something that I felt was missing during the original saga of Planet of the Apes.
When it comes to my rating, average to slightly above average aren't bad movies. They're not bad. They have a mixture of good and bad. This one, I just give a 6 out of 10 because, as again, more we talk about it, I'm more realizing like, hey, it's actually turning out to be a good movie. Is it the best one? No. Is there flaws? Yes. But I will say that this is a good start. I'm very excited. Like I'm actually becoming a really good big fan, and I want to learn more about the lore and actually want to go back to the original ones. I've never seen them. I've
The
only ever
Mark
seen the Mark
Wahlberg one
Wahlberg
is
one.
great if you're into like Michael
If you like
Keaton.
the George Clooney
George,
Batman, you're gonna like Mark Wahlberg
yeah,
Planet of the Apes.
yeah.
Yeah, they follow the trend, and I'm glad they didn't continue
It's a great watch for you and your kids. Again, it's a great watch for
it.
you and
Once.
your kids once or twice. It's a great kids movie. It's not really great in aspects to like really making sense, but again, Tim Burton, I love his wackiness and I love the dark nature of his films. So I enjoyed the Tim Burton version of Planet of the Apes in my personal opinion. But guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back with some what to watch. We love and appreciate you. Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the man and your king,
The king.
it's time for
What to watch? 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 Yes, sir.
So, Alex the Man Angelov, what do you recommend the people?
I'll tell you what I recommend. I recommend Rise of the Planet of the Apes solely because I think that this is a great intro to the series. Caesar, this guy, is birthed from a ape who was injected with, I forgot the chemical name. It was like N12 or something like that. It was supposed to cure Alzheimer's, and she actually gave birth to Caesar and gave him the evolutionary genetics that made him smart, right? So you get to see him grow from baby ape to the ape he is here. Smart, intelligent, cognitive. He can understand languages, and towards the end, you actually hear him speak, which is crazy. That was a really crazy scene. And you get to see his owner, or I guess his partner, really. I forgot his name. James Franco's his character. But anyways, really good movie, good intro. The ending is also really cool as well, with all the apes kind of gathering on into San Francisco and fighting the man as they try to imprison them. Really good intro though to how they explain, what happened, like what they were doing, what's going on, and you just the growth that you see in this is really enjoyable as well. And you see kind of the parallels between Caesar and the other apes, how they were like very dumb in the beginning. And as they turned smart when Caesar broke into the genetic facility that they had, you get to see and the rest of the apes become smarter. And it was just great to watch that. And it also spawned Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War of the Planet of the Apes, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And now we have all this, and I think it's a great reboot. I personally did not watch the entirety of the previous ones, of the originals, but I think it's a good starter. Nelson,
Hold
what
on.
do you recommend for the people?
I, ladies and gentlemen, recommend the entire Planet of the Apes series,
You
ladies and gentlemen.
motherfucker, you
I
motherfucker,
love the entire series. I love
you
the
motherfucker, you put that smile away.
I mean, bro, I love it. Like
I know
if I'm gonna if we're reviewing Kingdom of Planet of the Apes
it's
and
one.
The Rise of the Planet of the Apes was also a great movie. Just watch the entire series. Just go ahead and do it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm gonna tell you why.
He's giving the Costco version of my recommendation, the
And
wholesale.
wholesale, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way to go. So, in the first Planet of the Apes, it stars Charles Heston, and he's an astronaut that lands on Earth basically 2,000 years into the future. He lands there with two other astronauts. Well, one of them was a female astronaut that passed away. And throughout the movie, they try to look for humans. They run into like feral human beings, and they're being hunted by apes and gorillas. Charles Heston is the only one that survives, and he meets Dr. Cornelius and Dr. Zira. Zira grows a liking to him, and they help him escape. He also has a female protagonist whose name is Noah, not Noah, Nova. And it just, again, the entire Planet of the Apes series that we get today pays a lot of homage to the original series. The entire Planet of the Apes series stars basically Roddy McDowall. He's first Dr. Cornelius in the first, second, and third. He's in Dr. Cornelius in the first and third movies. Then he becomes Caesar, his son, essentially. And it's just a great film. You get to see the rise. They start off in the future, but then somehow they go back in time because they're able to figure out how to make these spacecraft work. And then their child then becomes Caesar, who becomes the leader of the new apes. And basically, it resets the timeline. And then I'm also watching the Planet of the Apes TV series that they had from the 1974 series, also starring Roddy McDowall. Roddy McDowall made his money as like playing a fucking ape, ladies and gentlemen.
Long? Is
Is
it a long season?
It's only 13 episodes. It's only one season.
There you go.
So it also expands and it retcons a lot of the stuff that happened in the films. I believe in the 1974 series Planet of the Apes, it's in the future that was reset after Caesar died. So basically, it takes place 2,000 years again in the future, but after Caesar it has already passed away, and Caesar was. I'm watching it on like a third party site. Go check out the series, guys. It's great. Planet of the Apes from top to bottom. Even the Mark Wahlberg one, directed by Tim Burton. It's a great watch with you and your kids. It's very it's not realistic, but again, if you like original classic movies, the original series is amazing. The new stuff is also great. Go check it out. Go enjoy it. We appreciate you guys.
You guys just watched the latest episode of Shady Mob Podcast with your two favorite pod mob stars. We appreciate you guys for being here. Hopefully you're enjoying this content and you'll be coming back and staying tuned for more episodes.
Guys, please subscribe, like, and comment on the video. Share this with your friends, family, and partners. Stay tuned for more breakdowns of your favorite content or general live conversations. We love and appreciate your guys' support. Stay tuned for more.
Bye, guys.
MDMA, 4 ship a pack out to Rio, 4 non-Trump looking Cheeto. Push a button, I can put my key up. Still a fucking girl with my seat up. Brought some bitches back from Bally's. When I get to Cali, I'ma need a tally. Yeah. Backyard got a valley, look like all them pally. That was not a challenge. Yeah. Backing hard off the static. I used to be bummy and average. That's what I'm saying.